Yo, welcome to the stream. So, today I found out that, there is apparently a Tom and Jerry gotcha game. As far as I know, it's only available to, like, East Asian countries. That was still, an interesting discovery. But honestly, I'm kind of thinking about downloading it, cause like I have I figured out how like a while back I figured out how to make Apple IDs for like I figured out how to make an Apple ID for the Japanese app store, and I'm thinking about like just going and downloading it, because like why not, you know? Shit. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. I hope your day gets better. No problem. I found this little, like, Minecraft diamond charm. I don't know where it came from, but I'm keeping it around because it's cool. Damn, that's a lot of followers. Azumanga is good. Azumanga is always good. Yeah. I think you got 1980 Ford somewhere in there. But I can kind of guess, like, somebody like asked for somebody asked for the name, and now they're trying to, like, I don't know. Would that be considered gaslighting? Like, just insisting that, like, just insisting that you're lying for some reason? My fucking god. Okay, either the person who messaged you was like a fucking idiot, or they're just like the most basement-dwelling fucking neckbeard redditor, not even like trying to get a job ever. 36 years old, fucking room is covered in like Mountain Dew and like piss bottles, fucking. Yeah. It's honestly a little ironic because, like, in comparison to, like, some, like, other anime, or not actually, comparison isn't even needed. There is, like, little to no, like, fan service whatsoever in Azumanga Daioh. And there are, like, animes from the same era with, like, with, like, plenty of, like, weird shit going on. I don't know. I mean, like, assuming the best, to be honest, they might just, like, assume that's where, like, all anime is or something. But, like, I highly doubt that's the case. I don't know his name. I've never seen Blade Runner. I think he's played by, like, Ryan Gosling or something, though. I'm not sure. I don't really watch many movies. I'm gonna turn up my microphone a little bit. There we go. Yeah, even assuming the best about the situation, the person, the fucking, even assuming the best, a person assuming that, like, all anime ever can be found on Hentai Haven is, like, insane levels of neckbeard. Yeah. In summary, motherfuckers are volatile. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, I think that's close enough to the right pronunciation. Yeah. Motherfuckers are volatile. Yeah, that's certainly a moment. That is, this is without a doubt a moment. What kind of moment? Yeah, at least Yotsuba is safe. At least Yotsuba has been protected. I'm gonna videos game. It's videos games time. I'm going to admit something. I said that there was going to be less lag. I haven't actually tested it, but the last two have had notably less lag, so I'm... Yeah, it seems like it's doing better. It's not exactly running perfectly, but you know what? It's better than the fucking slideshow that we had before. After all that excitement the previous night, there was no way anyone was going to wake up early. George Aniki, Jessica, and I were snoring loudly on the beds in the cousin's room. But Maria, who had gone straight to bed without joining in, was completely awake. As she rubbed her sleepy eyes and looked around, she was met with the loud snoring of the other 3 cousins. For a while, Maria had to think about what had happened. After that, she realized that her mother wasn't with her, and she quickly got lonely. Down. Maria left the cousin's room, trying to head to the room that had been arranged for her and her mother. Paying no heed to the 3 who were sleeping soundly, she slammed the door shut. In response, Battler mumbled and rolled over in his sleep, but it wasn't enough to wake him up. Why does the narrator keep changing? Like, when we first started the game, it was like Battler was the narrator. But who the fuck is narrating now? Wait. Wait, no way. No, wait. Is Beatrice narrating? No fucking way. Is Beatrice fucking narrating? God, I hope so. After a while, Maria returned, once again opening the door with a lively bang. When she had left the room, her face had been sleepy, but now that she was back, she looked irritated. After that, she climbed up on Battler's bed, which happened to be the closest, and started yelling and jumping on it, like it was a trampoline. Wake up! Ah! What? Is it an enemy raid? Surround them! After making sure I was awake, Maria moved over to George Haneke's bed and started jumping on that too. In that manner, the 3 of us were all greeted with an extremely pleasant awakening. Yeah, you got your message was taken by Big Brother. Thanks for waking us up, Maria-chan. You stopped us from sleeping. You stopped us from sleeping in after that late night. If only you could have been a bit more gentle about it. Yeah, I was kind of able to guess, where the story had gone, but yeah, thank you nonetheless for telling me, yeah. Yeah, they fucking #censored you, I guess, I don't know. George Nissan, you really are an adult. You really are an adult. I respect that. It'll be 7 o'clock soon. Well, it's not really a bad time to wake up. Oh yeah, that's right! Today's the second day, right? So that's when people are going missing. Mama's not here! Aunt Rosa? She wasn't in her room? I wonder if she's already woken up and gone to the mansion. Not here! Mama! Maria kept groaning and looking unhappy. She didn't exactly seem lonely because her mother wasn't around. It was more like she was irritated and thrown off balance because her mother wasn't where she'd expected. We could just tell her where her mother was. That alone would probably calm her down. But, unfortunately, we had no way of knowing where Aunt Rosa was, except that she wasn't here. Anyway, it's time for breakfast, so let's head over to the mansion. That's right. Maria, let's go to the mansion together, okay? I'm sure Aunt Rosa will be there too. is in the mansion? Then I'll go there. Yeah, guess we should go to the mansion. My parents have probably already gone there. Maria regained her usual composure so completely, her earlier tantrum now seemed like a lie. Oh. Give me a sec. God, I fucking love water. You know, I'm thinking about streaming Minecraft next week. Like, because like my peak like Minecraft days when I played the time that I played Minecraft the most, at least like single player, was like all the way back when like horses were a new thing, and like those underwater like temples were like a new thing. And so much has fucking changed since then. I played a little bit of single player, and I saw a fucking frog. They didn't fucking have those back in my day. I was in awe. Like... yeah. Like, they've added so much shit. Yeah, they added, like, candles and shit. And, like, cherry blossom trees and shit. It's insane. They added fucking copper. What the fuck? What do you even do with it? Cause like I found some, and like I melted it down to bars, and it only gave you the option to do like 2 or 3 things with it. We got dressed, left the room, and headed for the mansion. You know, sometimes I think to myself, getting pinched by a crab can't hurt that bad. And then I remember that it's not always just about, like, claw sharpness, and it's more about claw strength. Crabs are probably really strong. Once more, there was a knocking sound on the study door. But there was no answer. He seemed to be sleeping still, and I could not wake him. If she went back downstairs and said something like that, Eva would probably be amused and triumphant. And even putting Eva aside, it was problematic that Kinzo had stayed shut away during this entire once-a-year conference, not even coming down to greet anyone. Even the family head, no, especially the family head, couldn't fail to make an appearance. I wonder if I can convince him myself. Natsuhi readied herself and used the key that she'd borrowed from Genji to open the door. even though she was prepared for the sweet stench, which seemed to eat into one's brain as it poured out the small crack in the door. She couldn't help but grimace. No way! Grimace McDonald's? Real? In Umineko no Naku Koro ni? Canon to the universe? Oh my god. This is a fucking revelation. Thinking that he might still be sleeping, Natsuhi entered the room quietly. When she did, Kinzo was already awake and looking down out of the window. Man, they were talking about like the stench or whatever, and I was like, did he die? Songs like the one that goes, I'm at Disney, Twinkle Twinkle Little Witch, it's a Holocaust music. I mean, I wouldn't compare it to something like the Holocaust. But they are very, very fucking bad. Like, I don't know, there's just like something about them where it's like, I don't know, they're just like so like, how do I describe it? They're like the audio equivalent of like those TikToks that are like POV. You're at the generational museum and you decide to look at the Gen Z section and you're in awe because of how much they had to put up with. Or like that one trend that was like it was like a POV, you're in heaven and you're meeting, like, a school shooting, victim, and then they had somebody who like, put on, like, makeup and stuff, and, like, use, like, fake blood to put, like, bullet holes in their head. Yeah. Real. Yeah. It's like, you know those, like, you know how, like, sometimes in, like, especially, like, nowadays, you'll hear, like, some, like, rappers, like, sampling, like, video game tracks, or, like what's like some other stuff, like or like old songs or whatever, like what era are they from? Like, I don't know, but like the ones that you like, you know, like oldies kind of music, they like sample that and they like overlay like a beat onto it and they rap over it. The like Mad at Disney kind of songs, that's like that's like the TikTok equivalent of those, I feel like. The main difference, I think, is that sometimes the rap ones sound good. Yeah. Yeah. People will sample all kinds of shit. Yeah, there's a similar thing with, like, breakcore and stuff, where, like, people will, like, they'll take, like, or, like, breakcore and, like, hyperpop and stuff, and they'll take, like, really, like, obscure, and, like, sometimes, like, actually, I don't fucking know. You know, actually, you know what? Breakcore and hyperpop themselves are kind of weird, so I guess it doesn't matter. But yeah. Sometimes I feel like people just need to, like, actually make the music themselves instead of sampling other stuff, because I think people are running out of stuff to sample. And the thing is, I'm not even trying to say that, like, the stuff, the songs with, like, samplings of, like, fucking Mario OSTs are bad. Some of them honestly kind of sound good. It's just, like, it's a Mario sampling. And that's a little funny. So you're awake. Good morning. How did you get in? Kinzo spoke with his back still facing her. His voice was not harsh, but calm, and Natsuhi was slightly reassured. However, though he was awake, he wouldn't have ignored all that knocking if he was in a good mood. I mean, yeah, real, honest, very, very real, very real. Yeah, Hyperpop and Breakcore, they kind of get a pass with all, like, the whole, like, sampling weird stuff, because it in itself is kind of weird, you know? The last thing you would expect to hear on, like, the radio is, like, Breakcore or whatever. Actually, I guess that you wouldn't really hear TikTok music on the radio either. I don't fucking know. I'm going somewhere with this, I think. But yeah, there's a big difference between the two. Yeah. Natsuhi wasn't able to relax. My sincere apologies. I asked Genji-san, and he allowed me to borrow the key to the study. Huh. Genji did. Oh, Genji did. If my friend thought it was that important, then I have no choice but to listen. So, what business do you have with me? Every time Kinzo shows up, I hope I get to do more yelling. Well, breakfast will be ready soon, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would join us. I will eat here. Have it brought here, like always. But, Father, this family conference happens only once a year. Please, at least let them see your face. Go back downstairs. Are you asking me to join in as they discuss how to chew up my inheritance after I die? How foolish. Let them speak of such matters as much as they please, without me. And if that's what you call a family conference, it's hardly worth leaving my room for it. I am busy. Do not bother me. His last words carried the threat that any further questions would not be appreciated. Natsuhi realized that adding any further pleas would finally bring his wrath down upon her. You wanna know something that I've taken up a hobby of lately? Just straight up going on the internet and just saying things that don't make sense. Like, I go on, like, some app that's, like, designed for anonymity, and I say something that's just complete gibberish. And when people ask, like, what? Are you stupid? Do you have any idea what you're talking about? I reply to them, and I continue to act like I do. And, like, until they just, like, stop responding or whatever, I continue to just commit to the bit. And I never stop. It's very fun. She didn't look forward to facing Eva's sarcasm. There was nothing more Natsuhi could do. Is that so? Understood. I am sure everyone will be sorry to hear it, but I will tell them. Natsuhi decided to give up. Bowing silently, she tried to leave the room before Kinzo's spasmodic temper could flare up. As she did, Kinzo spoke to her. His voice was so calm and gentle, it felt like it came from an entirely different person. Thank you. Spewing nonsense on the internet is very fun. I would highly recommend it. I mean, it's not even really misinformation. It's more just like saying, video games are not real games, okay? The difference between video games and video games is that video games are made in the studio and video games are made by developers, okay? If you can't tell the difference, skill issue, I guess. Video games. Sometimes it just devolves into me like saying words in no particular order. It's very fun. I would recommend. Natsui. It has been quite some time since you married into the Ushinomiya family. Yes. It has been many years since I was first permitted to bear the name Ushinomiya. Do you sometimes long for your previous family? No. You guys want to know something really silly? You know how I mentioned that my mom has a habit of checking in on me every 15 minutes on the dot? She's changed that to 5 minutes. I'm having a time. Anyways. Marriage means abandoning your birth family. I am Ushinomiya Natsuhi. The Ushinomiya family is the only family I can come home to. The only one I am fond of. She truly wasn't exaggerating. Such was the resolve she felt whenever she applied the Ushinomiya family name to herself. And that's precisely why she was so saddened when her husband didn't treat her like an Ushinomiya, leaving her to race about in vain. If Kraus were a woman, and you his husband... No, I won't say that. Yeah. What do you mean by that, Father? Socialism is when you have friends. Smiley face. It does? Fuck. I'll have to keep that in mind. Natsuhi was shocked. Kinzo's words just now were what they seemed. It would have been more than enough to make up for all she'd suffered up to that point. Forget it. It's just the nonsense of an old man. Kinzo once again faced away from her. He told her to forget it, but Natsuhi couldn't help feeling a warmth in her heart. Father, even though I, Natsuhi, am not connected to you by blood, I am still your daughter. I will most assuredly see to it that your honor and glory and everything you have left behind are protected. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to go through all 9 days, so before we get to see Beatrice. But you do not have the right to wear the one-winged eagle. However, oh wait, actually, wait, who is fucking? I don't know. I'm gonna assume it's Kinzo. You do not have the right to wear the one-winged eagle. However, the one-winged eagle is surely engraved into your heart. That is irrefutable proof that you are my blood relative, one who will inherit the glory of the Ushinomiya family. Some will sneer that there is no eagle on your clothes, but such words are not worth lending an ear to. Only those who hold the eagle in their hearts are my true blood relatives. I now consider it an honor that you are welcomed into the Ushinomiya family. I still want to know where everyone went. Both Kairi and Rudolph went missing, right? Without saying anything more, Kinzo remained with his back to Natsuhi. However, Natsuhi couldn't help but feel something warm well up inside her that she hadn't felt since long ago when she had been just a child. Natsuhi bowed silently to his back and left the room. Ah, good timing. How was father? You were taking so long, so I came to check. When Natsuhi left the study, she saw Eva climbing the stairs, and their eyes met. Eva was smirking unpleasantly, thinking that Natsuhi would leave grudgingly after failing to convince Kinzo. However, the way Natsuhi was now, such a frivolous laugh would not disturb her. She was not permitted to wear the family crest on her clothing, but she was permitted to wear it in her heart. So she spoke calmly, clearly, and confidently, with the dignity of the one who will protect the Ushinomiya family's glory. Father said he would not join in on the family conference. He says he has no interest in discussing such obscene matters. I figured you'd say something like that. If you fail to persuade father, just say so. How pitiful. I'm beginning to see why father lamented so. What do you mean by that? Natsuhi did not answer. Just as Kinzo had done earlier, she showed Eva her back as she headed down the stairs. Eva finally realized that she was being made fun of, but something had happened to quickly bolster Natsuhi's confidence. Even so, she apparently didn't have the courage to risk Kinzo's wrath. Unable to even knock on the door, she could only click her tongue, make a motion as though scratching at it, and follow after Natsuhi. So, were Nissan and the rest there? Did you ask father about them? I didn't get the chance to ask, but they were not inside the study. Father would never let them into his room to discuss such a lowly topic, so it is unlikely he knows where they went. Let us go downstairs and wait for the servants to return from their search. Hey, I was just reminded of something out of the blue. Do you guys know, apparently, Ben Shapiro went to see Barbie, and surprise, surprise, he fucking hated it. Because, like, of course he did. Ben Shapiro is such, just like a damp towel. Honestly, so many, like, conservative, is talking heads the right word? I don't know, so many people in his circle are just such fucking, like, damp towels, you know? People try to do anything fun, and they're like, no, they go and they call it fucking woke. Let us go
downstairs and wait for the servants to return from their search. Breakfast may be late, but how would you like some tea, Eva-san?
That would be fine. Eva couldn't hide her confusion at the complete difference in Natsuki's and in Natsuki's attitude. She was acting so boldly, and while Eva hated to admit it, she even had a sense of dignity about her. Unable to find fault with anything, Eva could only follow Natsuki back to the parlor. The two of them returned to the parlor. Hideyoshi had been joined by the 4 children and Nanjo. Oh, Sonic, what was it called? Sonic for Real Justice? I was literally watching a video on that blog of, like, earlier. God.
Let's say, hypothetically, people were being mean to admin, which one was it? Silver.
Yeah, apparently the blog was like, it was all satire, but like still. He would have unironically loved that blog. He would have been fucking devastated to find out that it was all just a big joke.
I, personally, don't approve of the relationship between Mod Sonic and Mod Amy. I think that it's toxic, and I think that this,
what's something else?
I think that their relationship is toxic, and I think that Mod Sonic needs to tell us directly. Mod Sonic said that he was gay, but Mod Amy is a woman, and I think he needs to be upfront with us. Is he gay or not? Frankly,
Yeah. What's another funny line?
Frankly, I think his dishonesty, because I think he's very dishonest, and he doesn't deserve Amy. He doesn't deserve to be with Mod Amy.
The two of them returned to the parlor. Hideyoshi had been joined by the 4 children and Nanjo. Genji, who had been talking with Hideyoshi, reported the current situation when he noticed that Natsuki had returned.
You still have not found my husband and the rest?
Yes, my apologies. Also, Kumasawa has started preparing breakfast. She said that she will need just a little longer. The clock read a little past 8 o'clock.
Let's say, hypothetically.
Fucking...
Let's say, hypothetically, that Demigirl is a real gender. If it is, and then Mod Silver is innocent, and as Supreme God Overlord of Emperors, Mod Amy, that is simply untrue, because I say so.
The fucking... Yeah.
Personally, my favorite mod is Mod Shadow, because he's a no-nonsense... Wait,
Mod Shadow went by him, right? Yeah. I can't fucking remember. I'm just gonna say they, because I forgot, I forgot which pronouns Mod Shadow uses.
In my personal opinion, Mod Shadow is the best mod, because he doesn't take any shit from anyone. He is so cool and badass. And I agree with him on all stances.
Yeah. Real. Yeah, honestly, I, um, I was gonna say something, but I'm not actually sure what it was gonna be. Whoops. 8 o'clock should have been the time to start breakfast. Like, Your Honor, I had hoped that in the time that I was objecting, I would come up with something to say. I didn't. I can't remember the exact line, but that happened at some point, Ace Attorney. I know that much. Normally, going over that time limit would be a disgrace to the host. Cannon is now searching outside. Also, no one has seen Shannon either.
Even Shannon's missing? Truly, just how many people did my husband bring with him on his little walk?
Just how many people had gone missing by now? Now that the number was this large, it was starting to feel truly unpleasant, as though the people here were the only ones being left out of something interesting. At least, that seemed to reflect the feelings of the children, and Maria in particular. She was indignant, her stomach grumbling, almost as though her mother and the others had left her alone to go off and eat something delicious without her. The other children were flipping through the channels on the television, trying to find a program that might interest Maria and cheer her up again. Fuck. Nanja was sitting on the sofa, gazing blissfully at the children while reading a book. It must have been a book about chess. The sound of footsteps came rushing towards them with a pitter-patter. You know, I snuck out the window a few days ago, like I do all the time. And when I came back, I noticed that there was like a weird black figure like on the ground right outside the window. And I was like stepping on it a little bit because I couldn't tell what it was, and like moving it around with like my shoe. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And I was trying to get like a better look. But I decided it would be best just to like crawl back, just like crawl into the window and then like look at it with a flashlight. So I did. I did, and I took out the flashlight, and it turned out it was a dead rat. I was like, oh. And it's still sitting out there, and I'm not sure what to do about it. There was only one set, so they realized before seeing who it belonged to that it was probably Cannon, not Kraus and the rest. Madam, excuse me.
Judging by your appearance, you still haven't been able to find them.
My apologies. I still haven't.
That will be enough. You've worked hard.
She didn't know where they were, but they had to be somewhere on this island. They hadn't had a thing to eat since the previous night, so their stomachs must be growling about now. They'd probably come plodding back of their own accord before long. Yeah. Real. I'm not sure what that's referencing, but I'm sure he died a hero's death. By now, Natsuhi was thoroughly exasperated and started to feel that there was no reason for them to go out of their way in search.
I will go to the kitchen to prepare some tea for all of the guests. Thanks to both of you for all your hard work so early in the morning.
Natsuhi left the parlor, acting as though the release in tension had caused a new surge in her headache. Cannon tried to call to her back, but Natsuhi left swiftly. What is it? Was there something else?
Yes. I was unable to find her husband or anyone else, but, well... Cannon sounded evasive. It looked as though he didn't know where they were, but had spotted something that might be connected to their disappearance. Is it Beatrice? Did you see Beatrice? Please tell me you saw Beatrice. I want to see Beatrice. I get the fucking screaming now. I get why he was like, I get why what's his name? Kinzo was in the beginning like, Beatrice! Please! I just want to see her smile one more time! I get it now. Where is Beatrice? Show us the funny witch. Eva and Hideyoshi noticed this exchange of words and came over. Maybe the real Beatrice was the friends we made along the way. They'd probably picked up on something strange in Kanon's behavior. What's going on, Kanon-kun? Did you find Kraus, Nisa, and everyone else? Actually, the Rose Garden storehouse looked strange. What do you mean? It looked strange. It was, how should I explain it? Kanon hesitated once more. His tone wasn't at all what you'd expect from this usually fearless boy. Seeing this, Eva and Hideyoshi looked at each other dubiously. What do you mean? Are you saying Nisa and the others were inside the storehouse? No. I am going to inspect the inside now. I just now came back to get the key, but... I don't really get it, but it sounds like we just gotta look around inside it. Where's the key to that storehouse? It is in the servant room. Let us check inside the storehouse at once. Kanon dashed off to the servant room and returned with the key. Genji left the parlor, saying that he would go check, but then Eva and Hideyoshi followed after him. What was this something strange about the storehouse that had caused the usually fearless Kanon to hesitate? It was still pouring outside, but perhaps their curiosity over this something that Kanon couldn't talk about won out. While the children made a big fuss watching television, Kanon and the rest dashed over to the entrance. The Rose Garden storehouse was a place that housed various tools used to manage the garden. It was definitely not a pretty building. Because of its appearance, it had been built so that it was hidden in a corner of the Rose Garden. Kanon, Genji, Eva, and Hideyoshi came cutting across the Rose Garden holding umbrellas. They entered a small path just off the Rose Garden, which was normally off limits for those appreciating the garden, and only used by those maintaining it. As they dashed down that, the storehouse came into view in front of them. Real. Fucking... I'm sorry, I can't think of a funny follow-up. I can't think of a funny follow-up this time. It was quite an old shed, and compared to the flawlessly perfect beauty of the Rose Garden, it was pretty seedy looking. It was easy to understand why it had been built in a hard-to-see place. Eva and Hideyoshi arrived at the storehouse long after Kanon and Genji. You two sure are fast! I thought my heart was gonna explode. I never knew they had a storehouse way over here. But,
to where Cannon was pointing. She was at a loss for words. Noticing this, Hideyoshi also followed Cannon's finger, and was likewise too shocked to speak. The entrance to the storehouse was a kind of shutter. And there, everyone suddenly realized why Cannon had been— Fucking tell us already! Why Cannon had been unable to find words to describe what they now saw. On the shutter, which was completely filthy from being exposed to wind and rain for so long, stuck right on it. Oh shit! There was something that looked like a strange, dark red liquid? That's like a sigil or something, isn't it? I mean, I know it's not a pentagram because I know what a pentagram looks like, but like, or like, is that like is it like a summoning circle? Like a magic circle? I don't fucking know. Whatever it is, it looks like it's made of blood. Mucus? Or maybe it was some sticky paint. What? Stop fucking... Actually, you know what? It would be a lot lamer if they just outright said it was blood. An indescribably eerie shape was drawn in the shutter. It was some kind of ghastly substance. The rain had caused it to drip down like fresh blood leaking from an open wound. No more beating around the bush. Some kind of mark was drawn there. Yeah. The Beatrice is real! With a ghastly substance that— you've already called it a ghastly substance. That looked like blood. In a shape that seemed to suggest something ominous. Beatrice is real, and she's in your mansion right now. If you call 999-999 right now, you will get... Do you live in an old mansion? Is your family inheritance about to be divided by your warring, by his warring, what's the fucking word? Children? I don't know. Is Beatrice in your home? Hi, I'm Ushinomiya Battler, head of Beatrice Extermination Services, Inc. For the low price of $7 billion, I will come to your house and get rid of your Beatrice. That's right, only $7 million. And if you call using the number on screen and say the words, I don't know, and use the special passphrase of you will get a souvenir shirt that says, I called Beatrice Extermination Services and all I got was this lame t-shirt and also cursed. Absolutely free! Call now at 999-999-9999. That's 999-999-9999. What's that? Oh, the script is upside down. Sorry. That's 666-666. That's 666-666-6666. Call now. Yeah. Beatrice is real. Yeah. Just remember, if you want to be a good Beatrice handler, you need to have lots and lots of unknown red liquid remover that is safe for your shed doors, okay? I have seen so many people complaining about the red sigils made with the unknown liquid. That's just something that she does, okay? If you want to care for your Beatrice, you need to just clean them up, okay? It's like the way dogs leave paw prints around. You just gotta get used to it. This is Beatrice husbandry. 2 circles were drawn there, and inside them was a design that looked like a cross. The 4 ends of the cross were widely exaggerated, and it looked like some kind of crest from somewhere around Europe. And in the cracks between these shapes, written closely packaged together. Yeah. This order. It's just, hi,
It's like, hello, I'm Beatrice. And if you just watched Battler's commercial, you're a fucking loser! Now listen, this welcome to Beatrice's Witch Emporium. My name is Beatrice, as you might have guessed. And this season only, we are having a special sale. That's right, 66.6% off everything in the store. That's right, only for this season. How long is left in this season? I don't know.
Yeah, witchery at an affordable price? Splendid. And the cracks in between these shapes, written closely packed together, were some unfamiliar characters, or possibly symbols. What a vulgar bit of graffiti. Could this be one of those? One of those magic circles used in demonic ceremonies? It wasn't surprising that Hideyoshi would say that about such a ghastly shape, drawn with a deep red dripping substance.
How was this made?
Last night, I came here before it started raining, and there was nothing drawn here at that time. We must do something before anyone else sees this. If they laid eyes upon it, it would cause them great discomfort. All right. I'll see you later then. Yeah. Hope you have fun.
That's right. Even though it's just a shed, I wouldn't want to leave such an unpleasant piece of graffiti alone for even a second longer than I had to.
There is some paint inside the storehouse. Let us paint over it temporarily, as an emergency measure. Then repaint it again, someday when the weather is good. Based. Expose that motherfucker. Explosion emoji. Oh wait, oh. Sorry, never mind. Don't expose that motherfucker's name. Right. I see so many, like, internet celebrities or whatever getting, like, exposed for weird shit that I kind of just forget sometimes, sorry. But yeah. Yeah, make sure that motherfucker doesn't receive harassment, explosion emojis. Yeah. Have fun! Genji remembered that he had just recently seen another scribble, and that it too had been made with a strange, dark red substance the same color as this. That must have been... That's right. He had seen it on the door to Natsuhi's room. Canon-kun, let's remove this scribble quickly and go back, okay? Even though it's just a storehouse, it's really irritating to have graffiti around the home I was brought up in. Yes, ma'am.
I will take care of it immediately. Canon squatted in front of the shutter and unlocked it. He then lifted it up with all of his strength. A boisterous noise resounded, and the eerie shape drawn on the shutter began to get sucked in through the top as the shutter was raised. At least for the time being, that ominous drawing disappeared from their direct gaze, and they all breathed a sigh of relief. Look, I found this Beatrice potion on the dark web. And they say if you drink it at 3 a.m., you turn into Beatrice. Just got the Beatrice Happy Meal. At least for the time being, that ominous drawing disappeared from their direct gaze, and they all breathed a sigh of relief. Thanks to a kids' program they came across, Maria was feeling much better. Battler and Jessica were poking fun at the kids' show, at every turn, cackling together. George was enjoying the program with Maria, from her perspective. What the fuck? I think I just felt something run up my leg. There's a lot of, like, spiders and shit in my house, by the way. Nanjo sat on a sofa by himself, passing the time by reading quietly. They heard hurried footsteps coming from the hallway. They were the footsteps of a single person. Did that mean it wasn't the group of 4 that had just left? It was Genji. It was very rare for Genji, considered being out of breath a violation of servants' virtues, to be gasping for air. He had probably come dashing back from outside the mansion. His shoulders were soaking wet, and he didn't have his usual trim appearance. When Genji noticed Nanjo looking at him, he gave a small, silent bow and quickly approached him. Dr. Nanjo, my apologies. Please, come with me, quickly. What is the matter? As Genji whispered something into Nanjo's ear, Nanjo went pale. He rose from the sofa, trying not to be noticed by the children, who were still engrossed by the TV. And 2 of them rapidly left the parlor, muffling their footsteps. Yeah. Just come on, bro. It's a free and easy EGO, bro. It's free and easy EGO gifts, bro. Come on, bro. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. There will be no problems, bro. Trust me, bro. Don't ask why I'm standing so far away from it, bro. That's not important, bro. Just as they were about to exit the parlor, they came across Natsuhi, who was pushing a servant cart loaded with a tea set. Genji whispered something into Natsuhi's ear, and Natsuhi went pale too, in apparent shock. Then, leaving the serving cart where it was, the 3 of them dashed towards the entrance.
George noticed them running down the rose garden through the window. Yeah. Yeah, bro, I promise. Look, I promise, bro. Pressing that button when when there's more than 5 abnormalities out, it'll actually instantly suppress all of them. So you should definitely do it. Oh, and the flesh idol, that big cross with the skin. If you stay there for more than 60 seconds, all of your agents receive stat upgrades. Okay? It's really, really cool. You should, honestly, it's probably best if you just leave, like, one, just, like, probably best in the middle of the day, when things are about to get rough. Or better yet, right before a big, tough boss fight. Just, like, leave an employee there, and just don't touch him. I promise you, you will not regret it. It is a great idea. Well, what's that? Isn't that Genji-san and Dr. Nanjo and that's Natsuki, isn't it? What's up, Aniki? Maybe something happened. They look terribly flustered. When Jessica and Maria saw that Eva, Hideyoshi, and Nanjo were no longer in their seats, that the serving cart had been abandoned in the entrance to the parlor, they also realized that something was the matter. Could there have been some kind of accident? Let's go check it out. It's no fun if we're the only ones left out, right? For some reason, what Battler said sounded extremely indiscreet. They couldn't deny that they were a little insecure and concerned after seeing the adults run off into the rain without regards to their appearance. Let's check it out, okay? I'm worried something might have happened. Oh, that was Jessica talking. Whoops. Jessica's uneasy words spoke for all of them. Hey, Maria, are you coming too? Or will you watch TV?
Wanna watch TV?
Let's go on without her. Maria-chan, we'll be back soon. You keep watching TV, okay? By the time the kids made it outside, the adults were no longer in sight. But Jessica seemed to have a pretty good idea of where they'd gone, judging by the direction they were running. Following Jessica, we ran through the rain-soaked rose garden. The wind seemed to suddenly get stronger. The malicious sound of thunder began to ring out like it had the previous night. I felt like an eerie something had surrounded the island. It was trying to stop us from moving forward. Jessica, is there something over this way? I'm pretty sure there's a storehouse for gardening tools or something. What in the world could be going on in a place like that? Just as Jessica had said, they began to see a storehouse in front of them. They could also see the adults there. The shutter to the storehouse was open, and several adults looked as though they were searching for something. For some reason, only Natsuki was outside the storehouse. Without even holding an umbrella, she looked like she was hanging her head, and her back was facing them. There was Genji, Nanjo, and Natsuki, who had just left the mansion. The ones who had left earlier, Kanon, Eva, and Hideyoshi, were also there, making for a small crowd of people. But there was absolutely no bustle of activity. When Natsuki realized that the children were approaching, a terrible expression rose to her face, and she ran at them with her arms spread wide. You mustn't come any closer! Go back to the mansion! But despite that, no, because of that, the kids saw the scene Natsuki was trying to keep them away from. Inside the storehouse, with it shut wide open, a faint fluorescent light shone down. Right there was... who's saying this? Oh, it's Jessica. I thought it was, Natsuki. I don't know, I guess I'll do it again. Jessica's piercing shriek right now. But that was just because Jessica's scream was the loudest. The same thing spilled out of Battler and Jordan's mouths. Yeah, somebody fucking died here! Bing, bing. Eva spread her arms just like Natsuki, roaring at the kids with a bone-chilling expression on her face. George, take everyone and return to the mansion! Quickly! Right now! When Natsuki spread her arms, I thought she was trying to prevent us from advancing any further. But that wasn't why Eva was spreading her arms right now. She was trying to stop us kids from seeing that terrible scene. I want to know what the terrible scene was! I have to piss. I'll be right back. Return it. Honestly, this is kind of a banger. It was her mother's heart, trying to protect the eyes and hearts of us children by blocking our view. that terrible scene by at least the width of one of her arms. Is this some kind of joke? Is it? Somebody fucking died here! I'd seen this kind of cheap scene all too often. In manga, TV, anime, and movies. I'd seen it over and over again. This was just seeing something appear in real life that I'd seen plenty of times in some of those more sensational movies, right? That alone shouldn't. But that suit. They fucking killed Rudolph? That's bullshit. That suit. That old bastard, isn't it? I get it. And that's Uncle Kraus. And Kairi-san and Aunt Rosa. Dad! Dad!
Can I please play with the dead body, please? I want to grab its arms and play zombie with it, please. Can I please? You mustn't, Jessica! You mustn't go in! You mustn't look! Dad! Dad! Ah!
Rigor mortis has set in across almost the entire body. Most likely, 6 hours or more have passed since death. As far as I can tell by looking at the damaged area, there is a high probability that they were damaged after their deaths. Wait, what's the damage area? No, I must watch what I say. I'm a general practitioner. Examining corpses is outside of my area of expertise.
Well, we don't exactly have a fucking... what's it called? I don't know. We don't exactly have much of anybody else who can do the autopsy, can we? Or do we? Fuck.
So, what does that mean? Just killing them wasn't enough? So they wanted to do something like this? The devil! This here's the work of the devil! Aunt Natsuki caught Jessica in her arms, and Aunt Eva caught George on Honeycake. So I was the only one who could approach the entrance to the storehouse. Like there had been someone there to catch me too. I wouldn't have needed to have this horrible, evil scene burned into my eyes. No, that's not it. Hey, wait, I just realized Battler's narrating again. It isn't that there's no one here to catch me. The people who should catch me, they're right there, aren't they? Just as Jessica said, it did look like a storehouse for gardening tools. A lawnmower with extra blades, a grass sickle, and a hammer. Some carpentry tools such as a saw. Piled up potted plants and bags of fertilizer. And treated just the same, the corpses of several people had been laid to rest there. No. Had been tossed in there. You could tell them by their clothes. That old bastard and Kairi-san. Uncle Kraus and Aunt Rosa. Beyond that, Koda-san and... There's still more of them? How many people died? You're fucking kidding me! Come on, bro. I can be trusted around dead corpses. I'm not going to puppet them around like they're giant Barbie dolls, bro. I promise I am a very responsible and mature individual who can be trusted around dead bodies. I promise. can't even count them on one hand. Damn it! I didn't know whether it had been one of these gardening tools, which if used for something other than their intended purpose, could definitely reel into the naked brutality. Whether some horrible tool had been brought in here specifically for this. Anyway, each one of the bodies jammed in here had been given an atrocious makeup. It wasn't makeup, it was more like their faces had been plowed. Their faces were smashed, forced into expressions that normal people couldn't make even after death. Couldn't tell where the eyes or the nose were. I couldn't tell where the eyes and noses were, but I could find their mouths, because they were gaping wide with their gums exposed. But their front teeth were missing. Even the cheeks that should have covered all this were torn up and laid bare. That trendy makeup you always spend so much time on, even though you're a man, isn't doing a thing now. Dad! I should have said that differently. Dad! I always thought you were going to hell! But still, not like this, right? You weren't such a son of a bitch that you should have to suffer so brutally. And Kairi-san, didn't I tell you to stop going out with this guy? There's absolutely no reason for you to end up like this too. You've got no faces. No faces. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Ah! Battler-san, you mustn't look anymore. There's no way your mother and father would want you to see them like this. For your mother and your father's sakes, you mustn't look anymore. Dead people are supposed to have faces that look like they're sleeping peacefully, right? Yeah. It's no big deal, bro. I was just a little hungry. You've got no faces. My dad and Kairi-san have no faces. You don't even know what kind of faces they were wearing when they died. What's wrong with me? Will I have to see these smashed monster-like faces every time Will I have to see these smashed monster-like faces every time I remember them? That's just great. I didn't want to remember that old bastard smug face anyway. Just great. Just great. Why even Kairi-san's face? Kairi-san wasn't a crook. Sure, she ticked me off a bit now and then, but she was like a cool big sister to me. This is wrong. This is all wrong. At least Uncle Krause does it better, doesn't he? Not his whole face, just the side. At least he's got half of his face left, right? That's still better. That's still better. No! Oh, that's Jessica. Jessica filled her ears with the sound of her own screaming, trying to shut out my reckless words. Stop it, Battler-kun! Just stop it! Just stop it! Aniki! Aniki! Ah! Disregarding age and appearance, I fell to my knees, clinging to Aniki's waist and sobbing. It was as if I was crying on behalf of everyone there. Her representing the feelings of everyone there. I screamed over and over. Father, the ones lying over there are Uncle Kraus, Uncle Rudolph, Aunt Kyrie, and Aunt Rosa and Goda-san. Just those 5, right? No. There are 6 people. There's one more person over here. The body Hideyoshi was looking down on now happened to be hidden among the shadows in that mountain range of objects. In a blind spot to George, who stood by the entrance. So, George couldn't tell whose body it was. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta make sure Queen of Hatred is thoroughly taped to the couch. She's got, you know, those, you know those, eye restraints or whatever they're called, from A Clockwork Orange? You gotta make sure she's got those on, so she never looks away from the fam guy. And if she wants to change the channel, you gotta do it. You gotta do it for her, because, you know, she's taped to the couch. We don't want another snake outbreak. So, George cursed himself. He cursed the fact that his worst guesses always turned out to be right. So, the one lying at your feet is Shannon, isn't it? Oh, damn, shit. That's the one he proposed to. Isn't it? Fuck. Yes. It's Shannon-chan. George fell completely silent. He shook slightly, his lower lip trembling. Normally, he would have wanted to run to his beloved's body, screaming and crying. However, before rashly rushing forward, he worked to keep his composure and asked his father, "Is Shannon the same as Uncle Kraus and the others?" Hideyoshi deeply understood the meaning of those words, so he couldn't give George an immediate answer. Or rather, he felt that silence was the only sincere and loving response he could give George right now. When George asked if Shannon was the same, he meant to ask whether her corpse was in the same condition as the others or not. Since Hideyoshi hadn't denied it, it meant her corpse was in the same brutal state. Can I look at Shannon? No, you can't. Why not? After all, I won't be able to see Shannon's face again, right? So, why won't you let me see what her face looked like at the end? The last time you met Shannon-chan was yesterday, right? Yes. I see. When you left her, what kind of face was she showing you? It was a wonderful smile. After he handed her the ring, she hesitated, even though she must have already made up her mind. Then she looked bashful and ran away because she was embarrassed to let him see her face looking like that. That's the expression that was revived in George's mind. I see. Then I'm sure Shannon Chen would want to leave you with that smile in your memory. Hideyoshi looked down upon Shannon's body lying at his feet. Just like the other bodies, it was in such a horrible state that it'd make anyone want to cover their eyes. Her head had been smashed in from the side, and no more than half of her expression remained. If the remaining, blood-soaked half of her expression had been wiped clean, would that graceful smile of hers have peeked out? But only half of it. Without thinking, Hideyoshi slapped his hands over his eyes. How brutal. Her face was going to be crushed anyway, and if only all of it had been crushed, he might have been able to temporarily distract George from his pain by making the pathetic suggestion that it was someone else wearing Shannon's clothes. But half of her face had been left untouched. It caused the body so much humiliation, while still proving beyond a doubt that the body was Shannon's, and no one else's. How inhuman. How brutish. And there, trying his best to burn the image of the remaining half of Shannon's expression into his eyes, as she lay at Hideyoshi's feet, was Cannon. Cannon was not crying. Tears had risen to his eyes, but they did not drip down. But that didn't mean he wasn't feeling as much sadness as everyone else. Losing Shannon, who had lived with him in the same orphanage, whom he had loved as a sister, must have been just the same as losing a blood relative. George, I'm sure Shannon-chan is saying thank you. You must be glad you didn't end up seeing her in such a pitiful state. I'm sure she's thanking you for holding strong and showing restraint.
I understand. I understand, Father. I understand.
George leaned against the outside wall of the storehouse, crouching down limply.
Father, I have a request.
What is it?
I want you to look for me. Is there a ring on Shannon's finger?
A ring? Let me see. Hideyoshi crouched down. As he did, Cannon silently pointed to one of Shannon's hands. Yeah, there is. It's a diamond ring. With a valuable diamond. Must have been pretty expensive. And which hand? Oh,
And which hand? And which finger is it on?
The ring finger of her left hand. I see. So Shannon-chan was engaged?
George, don't tell me you...
Eva! That doesn't matter now. A man made a lifelong promise to Shannon-chan. A man promised her happiness for life. Who that man was isn't the issue here.
Being told that by a man is a woman's dream, isn't it?
Oh wait, no, this is probably...
Being told that by a man is a woman's dream, isn't it? I don't know when she received this ring. I also don't know who gave it to her. However, even so, Shannon-chan took this ring. Then she accepted it.
and put it on her left ring finger. I think this is Eva talking. I'm sure the man who gave it... Oh, wait, no, actually, this is probably Hideyoshi. I'm sure the man who gave it to her was also happy. To most of the people there, Hideyoshi was simply disturbed by this extraordinary situation and was blurting out nonsense. However, someone who knew of George and Shannon's true relationship would understand the full meaning of those words. I see. Thank you, Father. George stood up. The traces of tears still streaked his face, but his expression had returned to its usual calm one. Let's go. Battler-kun, Jessica-chan. If we stay here any longer, we'll get in the way of the adults. You're right. Jessica sniffled once, showing her face to her mother, who had been holding her the whole time. To let her know she was okay now. When she faced George again, she once again had on her usual expression, although she still couldn't smile. Battler, hang in there. Battler kept on crouching in front of his parents' bodies. I'm sorry. Crying like hell calmed me down. You bastard, Dad. I bet you're laughing at me. After all that shit I talked about you, here I am crying like a baby just because you died. Well, so what? I guess I just got the gene that makes you cry when your parents kick the bucket. Battler's face was still bright red from the tears. But he had at least recovered enough to fake a smile, if only a bitter one.
Canon, you mustn't remain here any longer either. Take the children and return to the mansion.
Natsuhi had been standing under the rain this whole time, unable to take a step into the storehouse. Maybe she had her own way of grieving, different from Battler's. Thing is, I thought this was all supposed to take place over, 2 weeks. Or so. Or 12 days, I think it was. I think it was 12 days, but I'm not entirely sure. And I thought that, 2 people were supposed to die every day. There was, 6 people dead. Realizing that she had to take on a role of responsibility now that her husband was dead, she gave Canon those orders. Yes, madam. Canon rose silently and turned to face me. His face was pure white, almost as though his own heart had died along with Shannon. And there was no life in his expression. On an ordinary day, he had been told to guide the children through the beautiful rose garden. Canon might have led the way. But now, there was no distinction between Canon and the children. They were now just kids of about the same age, suffering the pain of losing those close to them. After making sure that the children were leaving, Natsuhi started giving orders to Genji.
Genji, contact the police immediately. They probably won't be able to come until the typhoon passes, but they should be able to tell us what to do next.
Understood. There is an emergency radio, so I will use that to contact them. When she heard that, Natsuhi remembered. That's right. The phones were out today, weren't they? However, they also had a radio, since they couldn't necessarily rely on phones all the time while living on an isolated island. At any rate, they should start by contacting the police and receiving their instructions. Everything else could wait.
Dr. Nanjo, is there anything more you can do here?
Unfortunately, there is nothing I can do.
Understood. Genji, could you at least cover their faces with something? Exposing them like this is humiliating to them as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Genji picked up several dried up towels from inside the storehouse, when Eva stopped him with a shrill voice. Wait a second! Stop! This is the scene of the crime, isn't it? Then we mustn't disturb it. We all panicked and walked in here with our shoes on, but even that will surely get in the way of the police's investigation, right? Natsuhi glared at Eva, offended. Objectively speaking, Eva was right. Even so, she glared at Eva as though accusing her of refusing to do those tragic corpses, which had been humiliated even after death. I dropped something. The simple kindness of covering their faces. However, Eva had spoken both calmly and correctly. This horrible situation definitely wasn't an accident. It was a crime. Someone had killed them. It was a murder case. So, they needed to be careful to avoid disturbing the site any further. They had to do what little they could to aid the police, preserving clues that might help catch the detestable culprit.
I agree with Eva-san. Until the police come, we should leave everything be. What do you say, madame?
You're right. Very well. Close it up. And just in case, we should put a different lock on it.
A different lock?
Yes.
Welcome back. Battler's parents died.
When we came here, the shutter, I can't remember if Kairi or Hideyoshi is speaking now. The shutter was locked. That means the culprit used the key to the shutter to lock it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Nice.
So, does that mean the key that opens the shutter will have the culprit's fingerprints on it?
I'm sure it'll be worth submitting it to the police.
A little sleepy.
As evidence. But Callan-kun usually has it, and he used it to unlock the shed just now. It'll probably have Cannon's fingerprints on it. Also, that key was handed to Genji-san just now, and he took it with his bare hands. It doesn't look like it'll be very useful as evidence.
That was careless of me. My apologies. Genji-san, are there any other keys to the storehouse? No. Only this one. So the culprit walked out of the servant room with that key, and then was nice enough to return the key to where they found it?
Hideyoshi's theory sounded plausible, but was actually very strange if you thought of it.
Yeah. These guys don't know that black magic is real.
Why would they go to all the trouble of returning a key they stole? No, if you think about it even more deeply, there are some points that are even more bizarre. When a criminal hides a body, they're usually trying to delay the point at which it'll be found, so they can use that time to escape. The six weren't necessarily killed here, but it was reasonable to assume that they were killed somewhere on this island, carried to the storehouse, and hidden to delay the discovery of the crime. And yet, the
eerie magic circle scribbled on the storehouse shutter had eloquently indicated the location of the hidden corpses. Sure, it didn't explicitly mention the corpses, but 6 people had gone missing. In that situation, someone had made such an obvious piece of graffiti and even returned the key to the shutter, almost as though they wanted the corpses here to be discovered. Anyway, we can't put all our faith in a locket the culprit has opened once before. If we want to protect this place from the culprit's hand, I think we should put a new lock on it. I think that is a good plan. I agree. Genji fished around inside the storehouse and unsealed a brand new padlock that had been inside a small box. What should I do with What should I do with the key? I will take it. I will take responsibility and hand it over to the police. Natsuki took the key to the padlock from Genji's hand. After that, they all exited and lowered the shutter. And so, the corpses were once again sealed behind that shutter, which was covered with that creepy magic circle. Genji crouched down in front of the shutter to fasten the new padlock. Shutters often have a place in front where you can attach your own lock, in addition to the main lock of the shutter. This was one of those types. In the midst of the roar of thunder and the pouring rain, the storehouse stood there, ominously. Its closed shutter still covered in a blood-like, creepy substance. It swallowed up the bodies of the 6. To Natsuki, putting the new lock on wasn't mainly to preserve the scene from the police. She might have felt like she wanted to shut that mouth for all eternity. Prevent that eerie beast from swallowing up any more victims. Come on, let's go, everyone. Dr. Nanjo, thank you very much for your work. Genji, hurry and contact the police. I will do so as soon as I return. The adults left the storehouse. The ghastly magic circle drawn on the shutter kept the 6 bodies in its throat, looming eerily as the lightning occasionally lit up. Expecting... Yep, there it is. Glass shattering. What was that? Felt like I just heard like a water droplet fall from my ceiling or something. All that could be heard was the sound of the rain, the voices from the kids' TV program Maria was watching, and the engrossed Maria's cackling voice. Oh yeah, Maria doesn't know that anybody died. In other words, what greeted them as they returned dumbfounded from that horrible, bizarre scene was the voice of Maria as she rolled around laughing at the TV. Those who returned to the room didn't know how to explain to Maria that her mother was dead, and were trapped by a suffocating silence. At first, Maria returned their stares with a dubious look. But when she realized they weren't trying to blame her for anything, she ignored them and again immersed herself in the TV program. The children wordlessly sat down heavily on the sofa. Their minds were probably blank from their state of shock. Everyone had already cried and mourned so much, but now they just vaguely sat there, their faces seeming to have lost all emotion. Only Canon had returned to his usual calm expression. However, that probably didn't mean he'd been able to wipe out the shock. Nothing was reflected in his eyes as he stared into empty space. Hideyoshi kept on fidgeting, every time he remembered that horrible scene, he started muttering about how he couldn't believe it. How it couldn't have been something from this world. How it must have been the work of demons. Every now and then, his mutterings produced a question directed at Nanjo. But the latter kept repeating in a calm, doctor-like manner that nothing can be understood by only glancing at the scene. And that until the police arrived, they wouldn't learn anything. However, Nanjo only appeared calm next to Hideyoshi, who simply couldn't suppress his agitation and fear. In fact, Nanjo had also received a huge shock, and his face was deathly pale. Maybe that atmosphere was why she tried to rise to the challenge and take charge. Natsuhi appeared to be unchanged from her normal attitude. And she briskly gave directions.
I will go see father. Genji, quickly contact the police.
Certainly. I wonder if you would allow me to tag along, Natsuhi-san. Since Krasne-san is now gone, the task of aiding father has been left to me. It'd be improper of me to relax here while relying entirely on you. Natsuhi was struck speechless by Eva's aggressive move in a situation like this. Sushi for dinner? Awesome. That's radical. She seemed to be claiming that, with Kraus dead, the one to take responsibility shouldn't be his wife, but herself, the next highly ranked in the family. God damn it, Eva. Maybe she hadn't been at all happy when Natsuhi took command without reference to her in such an extreme situation. However, even Eva's mind had been blank from shock until a moment ago. She only came to her senses after Natsuhi started giving orders.
Just do as you like.
Natsuhi started walking without saying a word more. Eva followed behind her. As they did, Kumasawa ran into the parlor. She usually wasn't the kind of person to run around, so, under normal conditions, most people would have taken her entrance as a sign that something was the matter. But because everyone was still stricken with shock, they hardly even noticed her. Madame! If you're looking for Natsuhine-san, she went to see father. She'll probably be back soon. What happened, Kumasawa-san? You see, in the dining hall there was blood. The ears of everyone in the parlor twitched. Everyone thought the same thing. I hope I misheard that. Any container can only hold so much. And no one here would be capable of handling yet another tragedy. So they all thought it. I hope I misheard that. What happened in the dining hall? When I went to the dining hall to set up for breakfast. The first one to start running was George. His harsh footsteps jogged Hideyoshi and Nanjo to their senses, and they chased after him. Battler and the others followed. They flew into the dining hall one after another, but they didn't find any change that might have caused Kumasawa to go pale. To those who had viewed that gruesome scene in the storehouse, it was a bit of an anticlimax. However, Kumasawa, who had followed them, pointed it out. There really were some traces of blood remaining on the floor. Compared to that terrible scene, it wasn't very impressive. However, calmly thought about it, this definitely indicated the loss of a lot of blood. There's another puddle of blood over here. What in the world? It appears that a great deal of time has passed. It's probably safe to say that they were killed here last night. It definitely looks that way. We were talking together in the dining hall until late into the night. After that, someone must have forced their way in.
Dad, when did you and Mom slip out of the meeting to go and sleep?
It was a little past midnight. So, we should probably assume it happened after that.
Are you kidding me? Give me a break. Milady, please stay strong.
After seeing that hell on earth in the storehouse, this is nothing.
Really? Good for you. I feel like my head's gonna explode. This is the dining hall, right? Every day, this is where I'd eat. Complain about school, complain about homework, talk to my dad about my grades. That's what this place is to me. Milady, it wouldn't be good to remain here any longer. Let's return to the parlor.
I agree. Uncle Hideyoshi, I think this room would be really important to the police. Don't you think it'd be bad if we trampled all over it? Battler proposed this in a slightly firm voice as, along with Cannon, he grabbed the pail and shaking Jessica's shoulders. Everything is just as Battler-san has said. There is nothing more to be gained for remaining in this room. Nanjo spoke while looking at everyone's pale faces. Even though that horrible scene in the storehouse feels like something not of this world. At least then, we'd be able to leave, to cut ourselves off from that place and run away. Everyone had shared that feeling. However, this dining hall was different. It was in the mansion, the main building on this estate. And as Jessica had said, it should have been one of the most common places even inside the mansion. It was where all of the relatives had eaten lunch and dinner yesterday. The shock of seeing this place smeared with blood reminded us of that horrible spectacle in the storehouse, and forced us to accept that we hadn't been able to run away from the scene of that tragedy. We need to start waiting a little bit longer before reading. Otherwise it sounds all awkward and I'm like finishing the sentences repeatedly. I'm trying to guess where it ends. I agree too. The culprit might have left traces in this room. Amateurs like us shouldn't stir the place up. Let's leave quickly. Quickly. Hideyoshi also understood the meaning of what Battler had said, and pushed everyone to hurry out of the dining hall. The way we were then, looking at that blood any longer would have been too harsh. Nobody went against his words. Everyone raced each other out of the dining hall. But Christ, I'm hungry. It was almost as though the last person in the room would be trapped in there, all alone. Once in the hallway, we lent a hand to Kumasawa, who was still trembling and leaning against the wall, and we all headed back to the parlor together. Then Genji returned.
Oh, Genji-san. Were you able to contact the police? As to that, I'm afraid I must apologize. I don't know if it was a failure of the radio or something else that caused it, but...
What the?
So, you couldn't contact the police?
Both the phone and the...
Both the phone and the radio failed? My apologies. A boat will be arriving on Monday morning, and I believe we will be able to borrow their communications equipment.
Isn't there a boat on this island? Can't we just take a little trip out to the Nijima Police Department?
Hideyoshi-san, That would be impossible with this weather. At the very least, we can't do anything until the typhoon passes us by. Kraus-sama's boat is being repaired, and is not on the island. Therefore, we must wait for the boat coming on Monday. How could this happen?
And the British virus. Rest in peace, bro. You'll be saying "wo-oh-bo-oh" for the rest of your days. Thoughts and prayers.
Six people are dead! The phones and radio aren't working, and there's no boat! So, until the typhoon passes and the boat comes, in other words, until tomorrow morning, we're gonna be stuck here on this island, unable to contact the police, aren't we? Which means that not just us, but the criminal who killed everyone is also confined to this island.
That certainly follows. The culprit who killed everyone is still here on the island. So the bastard... so the bastard who killed Dad and the others must still be hiding somewhere, unable to escape. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it! I'll catch that bastard! No way I'll hand him over to the police! I'll slice him to bits myself! Ah!
Maria had finally realized that something odd was happening in the parlor. Rather than noticing something odd, it was probably better to say she felt unhappy and neglected, since everyone was getting so excited about something only she didn't know about.
Jessica, Oni-chan! Or One-chan! Did someone die?
The way she spoke was completely calm, just as though she was talking about someone who had appeared on a television drama, as though it was someone else's problem. Jessica probably didn't like that. As though trying to say, "Can't you tell just by looking at me? Overwhelmed with grief?" She flared up at Maria. "They all died! Everyone! Everyone! My dad and Battler's parents! Goda-san and Shen! And even your mother, too!"
Stop it, Jessica-chan! You aren't the only one who's sad.
Maria-san, I know this will come as a shock, but please listen. Your mother has died.
Mama died?
Yeah.
Beatrice is here on the island, and she's not fucking around! Chainsaw revving sound effects.
Mama died?
Yeah. Someone killed her. I know it's sad, but stay strong.
How many people died?
6 people! 6 people! Damn it, damn it, damn it! How could anyone do something that cruel? There's a limit to how cruel you can be if you're human. I don't know who it is, but the culprit isn't human! Yeah, it's a witch. I bet. It was Beatrice, wasn't it? There's no way their blood is red!
The culprit isn't human. It's just the... What?
It's just the blank.
Chosen by the...
Blank. 4 is chosen by the witch. And I'm willing to bet the last word is witch, but I'm not sure what the first one is. Maybe the ones chosen by the witch? Huh? Hey, Maria. Did you say something just now? Maria just said something. But since the words were so remotely separated from the flow and context of the conversation, I couldn't understand them for a second. When I tried to ask her to repeat it again, I was shocked by the sudden sound of Aunt Natsuhi's loud voice coming from the entrance to the parlor. It looked like Aunt Natsuhi and Aunt Eva had returned from their trip to see grandfather.
You can't contact them, even with the radio? If we can't use it at a time like this, why do we even have an emergency radio?
My apologies. It was supposed to have a maintenance inspection every year.
Wait, don't you have one of those boat signaling devices that makes a flashing light? Couldn't you use that to contact the next island?
We do not have such equipment. My sincere apologies.
Just then, Kumasawa arrived, pushing a serving cart loaded with breakfast. Since there was no way we'd be able to eat in the dining hall, Hideyoshi had ordered her to take it to the parlor.
Why are we eating breakfast here?
Ah, Natsue-san. I'll tell you later. More importantly, Eva, how is father? Judging by the fact that he is not with you, it seems like he will not leave his room, not even for a situation like this.
He wasn't there. The room was empty.
What the? Where could he have gone at a time like this?
Do you mean to say that the master has left his study?
That is correct. I was surprised myself. I wonder when he left his room. Do any of you have an idea?
Natsuhi looked at Genji and Kanon as she said this. Maybe she was trying to ask whether the servants who served directly under the one-winged eagle knew of a place he might go. However, it was probably the other way around. Their faces made it clear that those who knew Kinzo best realized even more than the rest how impossible it was for him to leave his room. Even we have no idea.
As you all know, within that study, the master had everything from a place to sleep to a bathroom. I couldn't imagine him leaving that room except for a significant reason. In that case, what? Isn't it natural to assume that one of those significant reasons came up?
We still cannot be certain that that's the case. Anyway, he is a fickle person, so it's possible he went for a walk by himself, unaware of the current situation. If that is the case, then we must act in all haste to tell him what has happened and ask for instructions.
That's right. Although, I don't want to think about it. It's possible something has happened to him, isn't it?
I'd rather not even consider such a sinister possibility.
No one had seen Kinzo since the discovery of those 6 terrible corpses. On top of that, the phones were broken, the radio wouldn't reach anyone, and there was no way to contact the police. Apparently, the typhoon would leave tomorrow, and a boat would come. But until then, no one could rely on anyone outside the island, nor could they escape the island. The tragedy had hit everyone so abruptly that they'd lost all their composure. Everyone felt a heavy silence. Everyone was impatient. Even though they needed to do something, they couldn't think of anything. So some of them held their heads in their arms, while others got irritated. Right now, no one could explain what was occurring on this island or Kojima.
After that, we ate the breakfast Kumasawa-san had made, which felt dry and tasteless. Of course, this was right after something like that had happened. No one felt particularly hungry. However, we understood logically that not eating would weaken our bodies. It would also be rude to Kumasawa-san, who had made the breakfast. Kumasawa-san had taken some unusual Western vegetables, ones that Goda-san had probably ordered for his ultra-elaborate meals, and cooked them in a Japanese style, which made them turn an unpleasant color. As to what Goda-san had been planning to cook with those ingredients, right then, I couldn't even imagine it. If I did think about it, I'd be reminded of the way Goda-san died. A sour taste would fill the inside of my mouth. Everyone pretended to eat for the time being. But of course, no one made much progress. Then, we began pooling our knowledge of our current situation. First off, 6 people, which included Uncle Kraus, my dad, Kairi-san, Aunt Rosa, Goda-san, and Shannon-chan, had been found in the Rose Garden storehouse as brutally mutilated corpses. And yet, we still couldn't contact the police, since both the phones and the radio were unusable. So, until the typhoon passed, there was nothing we could do. Furthermore, Grandfather, who we might have hoped would be able to show a little leadership in this kind of situation, has disappeared some time ago. Goda-san hadn't made breakfast, so Grandfather's stomach must have been empty. And if he had just been taking a casual walk, we should have been able to hear him whining about how hungry he was by now. And despite that, he hadn't appeared. There was more than a small chance that he'd gotten caught up in his crime. According to my aunts, on their way back from Kinzo's study, they'd searched for him, calling out on every floor, but were unable to find him. Considering the timing of it all, it's only reasonable to assume that this disappearance had something to do with the crime. We figured Dad and the rest were probably killed in the dining hall, and then painstakingly moved to the storehouse. So maybe Grandfather has already been killed and dragged to some strange place which we simply haven't discovered yet. No one actually said it out loud, but his theory seemed extremely convincing. We will go check that all of the windows and doors are locked. We must also conduct a thorough search for Father. The children must remain in this room. Eva-san Hideyoshi-san, I'm sorry, but please stay here with the children. I'd like to ask you the same, Dr. Nanjo.
I understand. I will wait here.
Aunt Natsuhi followed the servants, Genji-san, Kumasawa-san, and Kanon-kun, out of the parlor. All those left was Aunt Eva, Uncle Hideyoshi, Dr. Nanjo, and the 4 of us children, a total of 7 people.
Let's all stick together and maybe watch some television while we wait. Though I doubt we'll find anything good in the middle of the day on a I doubt we'll find anything good in the middle of the day on a Sunday.
Uncle Hideyoshi started acting cheerfully, trying to brighten up this gloomy atmosphere. Good show. Watch it.
Oh, really? You want to watch TV, Maria-chan? Then come and watch it with your uncle.
Maria was the only one who joined in. Even though Maria had been told of her mother's death, she didn't show the slightest flicker in her emotions. Was it really normal for a 9-year-old girl like Maria to act so much like a very young child? Everyone else's mood failed to improve, and they each sank absent-mindedly into their sofas. Aniki, can I ask you something? What is it? Just now, in the storehouse, you said something about Shannon-chan and a ring. Did you give that to her?
George Aniki didn't answer, but he hung his head and closed both of his eyes. There could be no clearer response.
Quit it, Battler. Figure it out yourself.
You're right. I shouldn't have asked. That's right. It was me. Last night. Oh, that's right. It was me. Last night, I proposed to her. That was when I gave her the ring. I told her that tomorrow, she should put it on whatever finger she wanted. As her answer. I guess it was a pretty pretentious thing to say. And that ring had been on the ring finger of Shannon Chan's left hand. Well, several years ago, Shannon came to me asking for advice. About you, George Nissan. I wonder what she could have said. Shannon was always really bad at lying. It was obvious pretty quickly that you were the one that you were the one she was talking about. She asked whether it'd be okay for her to get close to someone, even though she was only a servant. She asked about what kinds of things boys like, what kind of clothes she should wear, make them happy. Lots of stuff like that. Well, I guess you could say I felt envious, hearing her say that. So then she was given an engagement ring. And it all ended right there? Different people value things differently. But being proposed to by a man... Or wait, actually, I don't know. Different people value things differently, but being proposed to by a man, well, it can be the high point of your life. So I'm sure... Last night, I'm sure Shannon was happy. From the bottom of her heart. Happier than she's ever been since the day of her birth. George Aniki sighed deeply, without raising his head. Or maybe tears had risen to his eyes. It seemed Shannon was on duty in the guest house last night. But because she was too embarrassed to go back to the guest house with me, she went over to the mansion. Think about how Shannon must have felt. When you receive an engagement ring, then no matter how much warning you've been given beforehand, it's perfectly normal to get so excited that your mind goes blank. She must have been incredibly embarrassed. And then Shannon went to the mansion, even though she hadn't been assigned there. Helped Goda-san with his work, and got caught up in this crime. Only I hadn't given her that ring. On that day, in that place, Shannon wouldn't have... Sayo wouldn't have been caught up in that crime! Ah! Aniki. It's the one place where you're wrong. It's definitely wrong. So don't cry anymore. I think it might be a good idea to end stream now. Yeah. So yeah, I do think next time I'm gonna stream Minecraft because it's fun. But yeah. So my brain's starting to, I think I'm gonna end it here because my brain's starting to go a little dim. I'm starting to get, the silliness levels are going down, and it'll probably make for a boring rest of the stream if I keep going. So, thank you to everyone who showed up. I hope you all had fun, because I know that I did. And I hope to see you all again soon. Bye!